I'm outside in the freezing Canadian cold winter. It is below zero, and we're putting UNI-QLO heat tech to the test.
Companies make a lot of claims, but how can you tell if they're actually true? Join us as we take you behind the tech.
All right, welcome back. What have you got for me this week? Okay, heat tech. You guys have been requesting this a lot. This is the heat tech crew neck long sleeve t-shirt
Versus
heat tech ultra show. We're in Canada, so ultra warm. They're both crew necks. This is supposed to be 2.25 times warmer than this. We will actually put that to the test. Let's start by opening the small one. What do they say about this one?
So this UNI-QLO Heat Tech crew neck long sleeve t-shirt is thin and light yet warm. It's made of 40% polyester, 32% acrylic, 21% rayon, 7% spandex, and 40% uses recycled polyester fiber.
Okay, so looking at this, it's obviously a tighter fitting long sleeve garment here. They have some marketing claims here. Let's kind of just dive through them. They have heat of absorption. Heat tech fibers capture the energy of water molecules emitted from the body and convert them to warmth. That's going to be the rayon. Rayon is exothermic a little bit. Will this generate a little bit of heat? Yes, but is it going to make that much of a difference? Probably not. They're using acrylic here, polyester, rayon. All these are going to be fine filament yarns, and the way they're knit, they're going to be preventing a lot of that warm air from escaping. Up to a degree, it's still fairly breathable. Let's go through the rest of the claims here. Moisture absorbed from your body and released on the outside. Perspiration dries quickly, so the fabric remains dry and fresh. That's the polyester, it's sweat wicking. Anti-odor, they might have a chemical treatment on yarn, so you can actually do antimicrobial treatments on the yarn itself to prevent the growth of bacteria. Extra strength, enhanced stretchability, that's the spandex. Shape retaining, that's the spandex and the synthetic yarns. Soft texture, that is acrylic. Overlock seams, 2-needle cover stitch, fairly decent construction. Fabric is a little bit thin. You know, when it comes to a garment like this, being branded heat tech, the construction is an important part, but obviously all the technology should be in the fabric. So let's put this aside. Let's take a look at the ultra warm. Do they have like different temperature ratings for these things?
They do indeed. Regular heat tech is recommended for temperatures ranging from 5 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius, and heat tech ultra warm is recommended for temperatures ranging from negative 20 degrees Celsius to 10 degrees Celsius.
Okay. I don't know, why do you need heat tech at 20 degrees Celsius? What we have here is a fleeced inside, 33% polyester, 32% acrylic, 21% rayon, 14% spandex. This one has like a smell to it. I don't know if it's like the cardboard. This is like the distinct smell of the factory. Same construction method on both of these, except for the ultra warm has additional cover stitch over the arm seams, just because it's probably a little bit more bulky, and as well as the neck. What do these cost?
So the regular heat tech one is $24.90 Canadian or $19.90 US, and the ultra warm is $39.90 Canadian or $29.90 US.
Okay. Not like outrageous pricing. I guess, you know what, the appeal for this is it might be hard to find a shirt like this kind of thin to wear as a base layer. This one itself, it looks to be a double knit, and what they actually did was just brush the back of the fabric to raise up all those fibers. The neck tape is just at the back of the neck here. This one has no neck tape. Not a lot of flaws here, not a lot of loose threads. I'll actually just lay these two on top of each other. Now when I'm looking at both of them, they're pretty much roughly the same block. The ultra warm has a slightly shorter sleeve, but that could just be because the fabric here is a lot looser, so if I stretch this a little bit, it might actually just sit exactly where the other arm is. All right, so looking at both of these garments here, the workmanship is fairly consistent on both. There's a little bit in terms of design changes. We have a serge and a cover needle stitch here. We have a marrow stitch here. So overall, construction, workmanship, fairly consistent across both of these. But what really matters here is how well it works. So let's cut these up, but before we do, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let's tear these in half. Oh my God. All right, now you guys are joining us in our development center. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be putting the manufacturer's claims to the test. is the ultra warm actually 2.25 times as warm as the regular base layer? How we're going to be doing that is we're going to be cutting them right down the center. We're going to be seaming them together. And then we'll be putting them on myself, standing outdoors with some temperature probes on me to see if it actually stands up to the claim. So we're about to head outside. What we have is 2 temperature sensors on my back, because we found it's most consistent back there, and then above it as well, just under the jacket. So we can see what that delta is and how insulating the heat tech is versus just the jacket itself. And then we have one for ambient. Holy shit, it's cold. This is also the second time we've had to do this because the camera was out of focus the first time. So please like, comment, subscribe, because I'm putting myself through a lot for you guys. When it comes to UNI-QLO heat tech, they measure their ultra warm as being 2.25 times as warm as their regular heat tech based off of its CLO value. Let's talk about that. The CLO rating is a measure of how much insulation is required to maintain body equilibrium temperature in an office environment. And of course, being from the 1940s, 1 CLO is an average male suit.
Are you rethinking some things in your life right now?
How did I get here? I should have just become a dropshipper that lives in Dubai. I would say now that I've been, now that there's no sun the second time around doing the testing, I don't know if it's because the fabric on the ultra warm being a little thicker is a little bit more compressive, but I do feel slightly more comfortable on that side. And definitely around my arms is quite noticeable how much of an insulating difference there is between the ultra warm and the regular heat tech. I would say the chair being metal definitely does not help the situation, but you know what, cold is just a state of mind. Now that we're done the test, let's head on inside and let's see what the results are. So we're inside right now. Zach has kindly plotted out all the data for us, and you're gonna see it the first time with me.
So this is sort of like the main graph of what we pulled from the temperature sensors. Here on the x-axis, we've got time. So you were out there for approximately 20 minutes. And then over here, we took your average body temperature and then related all of this to that. You can see that right off the jump, the regular heat tech lost a lot of heat relative to the ultra warm.
And you can see it kind of levels out here. It's probably the shiver response if we kind of ignore it where it balanced out. It obviously is doing its job. Yeah. It's actually not as clear wearing it as it is as data, because I guess as humans we're not really trained to sense temperature differences on both sides of our body.
Yeah, right.
But it's cool to see. It's not exactly 2.25 in our testing, but it looks like it's at least 2 times in the beginning.
Yeah. So at the 2-minute mark, you've lost, basically a fifth as much heat with the ultra warm.
Which will make a huge difference if we're actually just trying to conserve that body heat.
Exactly, yeah. 5 minutes in, that's when it's basically an even double. 10 minutes in, around 1.6 times. 15 minutes in, just under 1.5 times.
It's like a cumulative effect, right? The more heat you're losing, the faster you're losing.
Exactly.
The faster your core temperature is going to drop.
Exactly, and it does seem like the ultra warm is significantly reducing that drop. We also had a sensor on the outside. The blue line here is the average of the heat tech and the heat tech ultra warm. And then the green line is that other probe that we put in between the heat tech and the shell that you were wearing.
You can see here without any base layer at all, you're losing significant amount of heat relatively quickly. You're buying yourself 20 minutes of heat from when we started to the end of this test here. So it's almost like by wearing at least a base layer, be it heat tech or not, you are far better off than not having a base layer.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So let's give our final thoughts on this and head back to the lab.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right, we're back in the design space now. Let's review. Originally, we did want to do a control test, but the weather has not been the same since we filmed the original test. And we think a better test methodology would be to have a very consistent temperature source. So maybe in the future, we can look for a walk-in freezer to do testing like this. If you were to be wearing a full garment, you'd probably lose heat even slower than if you were wearing half and half, but we want to see a live comparison of both of them. With the HeatTech Ultra Warm, UNI-QLO claims it's 2.25 times the CLO rating. So we took this, of course, outside to see what it would be like in the environment that you're most likely be wearing this in. Ultra Warm, it absolutely slowed the heat loss more than the regular HeatTech. And I think if you were to be wearing this on an entire body, you would actually be able to stay outside and maintain your current body temperature for a much longer period than you did not have anything underneath, and a lot longer than the regular HeatTech. That being said though, what I would say is you have to consider a few different things. What are you gonna be wearing on top of this? What is the temperature and the climate that you're gonna be wearing this clothing is, and transitioning states. If you're going in and out of buildings, the Ultra Warm might be something that actually be quite uncomfortable to wear, and because it is a base layer, you don't wanna have to strip naked to go in and out. So you might tolerate a little less warmth so you can still transition into an office environment, into a shopping mall or bus or whatever. If you are gonna be outside for an extended period, then I would definitely grab the Ultra Warm. It is a fleeced inside, and that's gonna help capture that air a bit more, give you a little bit more insulating air pockets. I think being a functional garment, our traditional way of testing and rating these doesn't really apply fully. The workmanship on both of them are fairly decent, but what I want to do is kind of withhold rating these until we actually get a better testing method. We're still working out the kinks in the series, but let us know what you want us to see on this. It's gonna be very different. It's gonna be a lot more scientific and technical testing. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to follow us on socials. Until next time. The camera's so much far back. It was like muscle memory. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. No, we already did that.